Good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Saraya Mia. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission has granted Tan Sri Mohzani Mahathir and his brother Mirzan Mahathir more time to declare their assets. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki says lawyers for the sons of Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad have been in touch with the MACC investigating officers regarding the extension period. He, however, did not disclose the deadline.
Azam said the anti-graft agency have already set the deadline for them to declare their assets and have reached an agreement on that matter. On January 18th, Mirzan and Mohzani was served with a notice requiring them to declare all movable and immovable assets in their possession. On May 24th, a local news portal reported that Mirzan and Mohzani have applied to the MACC to extend the deadline after being granted an extension earlier. The media also reported that Mohzani is being investigated under the MACC Act 2009 and the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001.
Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has revoked the notification of 3 cosmetic products that were found to contain scheduled poisons and are no longer allowed to be sold in Malaysia. Health Director General Dato Dr. Muhammad Razi Abu Hassan says the revocation was done by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA. Muhammad Razi said mercury is prohibited in cosmetic products as it can be harmful to health, leading to kidney and nervous system damage, disrupting the development of a child's or fetus's brain, and causing rashes and skin irritation. Meanwhile, products containing hydroquinone and betamethasone 17 valerate need to be registered with the Drug Control Authority and should only be used under the guidance of healthcare professionals due to health risks. He urged sellers and distributors to stop selling and distributing these cosmetic products immediately, as it violates the Control of Drugs and Cosmetics Regulations 1984. Those who violate the amended Occupational Safety and Health Act 2022, as well as the Factories and Machinery Act 1967, will soon face a fine of 500,000 ringgit. The increased fine from the previous 50,000 ringgit will come into effect on June 1st. The Human Resources Ministry said the amended law was gazetted on March 16th. In a statement, it said this was in line with the government's commitment to ensure that all employees work in a conducive and productive environment. The ministry added that the increased fine would ensure that the safety, health, and welfare of workers are taken into account. Earlier today, the ministry hosted a seminar on the matter for stakeholders to better understand the changes to the Act. This included occupational safety and health professionals, associations, employers, and workers. The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, KPDN, is always proactive in facilitating the application and approval of the special Menu Rahmah discount card. This is to allow more traders or entrepreneurs to offer the menu.
Its Deputy Minister Fuzia Saleh said this included improving the standard operating procedure for card applications, giving the card automatically to traders who previously offered Menu Rahmah, and ensuring the continued approval of new card applications on the Menu Rahmah portal. Fuzia added that so far, over 2,800 traders nationwide have received the discount card after it was launched on November 2nd last year, and she encouraged more traders to register for the card. According to her, the ministry offers the special discount card not only to restaurant operators, but also to hawkers and food truck traders, thus helping them to increase their income. She said that through the card, Menu Rahmah traders can enjoy price discounts of up to 40% when purchasing goods like chicken, onions, and other necessities at 7 selected supermarkets to help them reduce the cost of preparing the menu. Fuzia explained that the ministry is also committed to expanding and making the Menu Rahmah program more successful to ensure that the low-income group can enjoy eating food that is reasonably priced.
Dementia is the 7th leading cause of death worldwide. Yet less than 20% of the World Health Organization member states have met their commitment to develop a national dementia plan by 2025. Professor Tan Mau Pin from University Malaya looks at Malaysia's progress in launching its own plan.
We have asked to see the final draft, but from what we gather from the government officials that we've been in communication with, it's currently being edited and tidied up so that it looks like a well-presented document. But we wouldn't expect it to depart very far from the initial drafts. So we do know that the National Dementia Action Plan will align itself with the World Health Organization Global Action Plan for Dementia, which started in 2017, and actually the call for action ends in 2025. So one of the calls for action is for 75% of the member countries, the 194 member countries, to have a National Dementia Action Plan. And Malaysia actually meets the target, and many other countries who signed up to this actually are not going to get there by 2025. So we are actually doing pretty well as a nation, considering all the trials and tribulations, including a huge pandemic that got in our way. And we actually don't know for sure whether the plan is going to be funded. And all of us are basically holding our breath to find out whether there will be funds in the next budget, 2025 budget, that will be allocated specifically to the delivery of the National Dementia Action Plan. But also we know that it's not just 2025 budget, but also we are coming up to the next National Malaysia Plan. So hopefully in the Malaysia Plan will also be coming up with allocations that will actually help deliver on the National Dementia Action Plan. But we have currently no information on how or whether the National Dementia Action Plan is going to be funded, and we're all waiting to hear.
Now it is time for a quick break. We'll be right back.
Yang mati ke lihat hidup, kita kena cari dia.
Eddie, please. Aku sikit lagi nak jumpa mak aku.
Gambar ni macam mana? You mati nanti. I don't care.
Eddie, tolong aku. Cari cukup bukti.
Ya. Apa kata kalau kita tolong sama-sama?
Framed. Stream episod baru setiap Jumaat on demand dan di Astro Premier.
Gempur di AWANI 7.45.
Welcome back. Early investigations into severe turbulence that hit a Singapore Airlines flight last Tuesday show that the plane fell some 54 meters in 4.6 seconds. One 73-year-old passenger died and dozens more were injured when the London-Singapore flight hit turbulence over Myanmar and was forced to make an emergency landing in Thailand. Singaporean investigators have extracted data from the plane's flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder. Their preliminary report said the plane experienced a rapid change in G gravitational force while flying above 37,000 feet. This probably caused the unbelted passengers and crew to become airborne. Vertical acceleration changed from negative 1.5 G to positive 1.5 G in 4 seconds, causing those occupants who were airborne to fall back down. Shaken passengers described scenes of chaos in the minutes after the incident. People were thrown upwards and into the aisle, many with bleeding and head injuries. Singapore Airlines said 42 people who were on board the flight were still in Bangkok, including 26 passengers receiving medical treatment in hospital. North Korea has launched more than 150 balloons carrying rubbish, feces, and propaganda leaflets in the south. Authorities warn South Korean residents to stay indoors and avoid touching the balloons with plastic bags attached to them. The balloons were found in 8 out of 9 provinces in South Korea and taken to the authorities for analysis. They were found to contain toilet paper, dark soil, batteries, and excrements. Residents living along the border have been asked to report any identified objects to the nearest military base or police station. Both North and South Korea have used balloons in their propaganda campaigns since the 1950s. Earlier this month, a South Korea-based activist group claimed to have sent 20 balloons across the border, carrying anti-Pyongyang leaflets and USB sticks with Korean pop music. In response, North Korea vowed to retaliate. In other news, South Africans head to the polls today to elect a new National Assembly and state legislatures. It is the biggest test for the African National Congress, ANC, which has ruled for the last 30 years.
A total of 23,292 polling stations would be open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. local time, with Election Day declared a public holiday to facilitate voting. Wednesday's polls would be the country's 7th democratic general election since the end of apartheid in 1994, when Nelson Mandela was elected president. But lingering inequality, unemployment and poverty now threaten to unseat the ANC party, which promised to end it all with the apartheid. It won 57.5% of the vote in the 2019 elections, its worst result to date. South Africa has one of the world's worst unemployment rates at 32%. Partial results are expected within hours of polls closing, with the Electoral Commission expected to announce the final results on Sunday.
Meanwhile, India has issued a red alert for several parts of the country's northwest, warning of a severe heat wave. The warning came a day after parts of the capital, Delhi, recorded their highest ever temperature of nearly 50 degrees Celsius. A red alert implies a very high likelihood of people developing heat illness and heat stroke. India has been grappling with unusually high temperatures. India declares a heat wave when the maximum temperature in a region is 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius above normal, while a severe heat wave is declared when the maximum temperature is 6.5 degrees Celsius or more above normal. Delhi's local government has also restricted water supplies due to the heat. Billions of people across Asia, including India's neighbor Pakistan, have experienced a hotter summer this year, a trend that international scientists say has been exacerbated by man-made climate change. At least 13 deaths have been attributed to heat stroke in the state of Rajasthan. Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra will be indicted of charges of insulting the monarchy. The controversial political leader, who returned to Thailand last year after 15 years in exile, is being charged over an interview he gave to a Korean newspaper 9 years ago. Thaksin is the most high-profile figure to face charges under Thailand's controversial lèse majesté law, which has been used extensively against political dissidents. Hundreds of people have been charged in the last 4 years alone. Thaksin's party was allowed to form a coalition government with some of his political opponents to keep out the Reformist Move Forward party, which won the most seats in the 2023 election. But the decision to charge the 74-year-old former premier under the draconian law shows that he still has enemies in Thailand's powerful royalist establishment. The charges relate to an interview he gave to a Korean newspaper in 2015 while in exile. In it, he accused the king's top advisory body of helping to orchestrate the 2014 military coup that deposed a government led by his sister Yingluck. That wraps up AWANI Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Saraya Mia and we'll see you again.